Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the show before the show. Yeah, depending upon where you live in the country, I know in the St. Louis area, public schools, first day of school today. Derek, good luck to them. Hi, Lizzie and Joe. Good morning to you guys. Nancy, Bendy, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Yeah, I think our kids have been back for a little bit, so it's like they're already in the routine. I know my daughter's kind of in the routine of it now.
First day of college for a lot of people.
Yeah. Did you see? I'm sure you did. Did you see the video of the kids over the weekend at Mizzou, doing the tradition walk?
No, I didn't.
It's really cool.
I did not see that. Where's the... Monday, August 21st. Welcome into the show, guys. Show before the show. We'll get ready to rock and roll in just a little bit here.
It's my son Alex's birthday today.
What's that?
Said it's my son Alex's birthday today.
Cool.
Oh,
What number is that for him?
Quarter of a century old.
Oh, a quarter of but that sounds old, doesn't it? When you have a kid that's a quarter of a century old.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Makes me feel old.
I just sent you a picture, buddy. Another one, okay? Joe, Pro Joe.
Okay.
You didn't see that over the weekend? Yeah, you'll see
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Some crazy stuff. Why is it? It seems like such crazy stuff happens on the weekends. There's so much to talk about on
Well,
a
you've
Monday.
got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you got
Yeah.
3 days of you've got 3 days of action.
You do have
And
3 days of
then
action.
You also have a lot that gets dropped on Fridays for whatever.
That's very true.
I always say
And for good reason.
the black hole of news Fridays.
Yes.
There were only 38 shootings in Chicago over the weekend. Only 7 fatalities.
Oh, that's only. Well, there you go.
It's interesting. I disagree with this, but a ton. Where is this at? The CDC did a report. Number one reason why couples get divorced.
What is it?
46% of people agreed. 46.
46. Okay.
46. And it blew my mind. 40. And we're talking like almost, let's see. They did a big study. 690,000 couples.
Okay. That's pretty many couples.
Got divorced in 2021.
In 2021?
Yeah.
Was it because they couldn't stand being together during COVID?
No, it's so bizarre. And 1 through 7 doesn't include anything about sex, which shocks me.
Wow. Really?
Number one, 46%. Career choices? Like,
yeah, okay.
you chose to do this.
Yes, you chose to do that. Maybe that boils down to money.
You know what? My ex-wife hated what I did with TV. She hated it.
And I could see where that would ruin us because you were so out there.
Interesting. Number 2, I could see parenting differences.
Yeah, I think that's huge for sure.
3, division of household work.
I can see that too. Yeah. Because there's nothing more sexy for a woman than to watch a husband load the dishwasher.
I've heard that.
There's true.
Now, everybody knows sex starts in the kitchen.
Yeah, like load the dishwasher or, like help with the load of laundry. Or me, it's like wood. Like if I see my husband like in there fixing something broken or...
Yeah. Derek says number one reason for divorce is money, finance. I figured it would have been money.
Yeah, and maybe that's what the career choice is too, because their career choice is...
it could be. No, finances was number 6.
Oh. Okay.
Relationship with family was 4.
I can see that too.
Husband or wife's friends.
Oh,
5.
I can see that too, because that's probably the only time.
I don't see
Yes.
mother-in-law in here anywhere.
Mother-in-laws need to know their place. I'm a mother-in-law now too, and so you got to know your
Oh
place.
my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah. And I like to meddle with my kids, but I don't because I don't know. I've got a good relationship with my son and daughter-in-laws, son-in-law.
As far as you know, right?
Yeah, at least that they've told me. Maybe they're good pretending. Maybe they're good pretending.
Hey now, David says. DRC says it's always other people's drama that causes problems. Hey, Troy.
That is true. If you let other people's
Bendy.
drama get into your life, that's rough too.
Bendy says, yeah, police officers divorce rate because of career choice and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of alcoholics who are high percentage who are in first responders.
Yeah. Oh, it's because it's such a stressful job.
Good morning, Ben. Making your way back from Tennessee. Good morning, Sherry and Angie and Greg C. and Trisha, Troy, Chris. Good morning, everybody. I don't know. It's just weird. Maybe it's not so weird, I guess, with the couples and why they get divorced.
Yeah, I guess it depends on, like, if your husband or your wife was a stripper, you might not like that so much.
Or if you find out afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, afterwards, right.
That could be an issue.
Mm-hmm. That could be rough.
What do we got here? Just looking through. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Many parts of the country, it's super hot, and it's going to be a super hot week in a majority of the country.
Yeah. Hot.
Let's see here. We're getting people coming in. Divorce. Yeah, that's it. I'm still looking at the polling. I'm going,
yeah.
Divorce rate, really? Is that why?
Well, and Alex says, marry a European gal, and none of these are issues besides maybe the money issue.
Oh, that's BS. He's got other issues, and he knows it.
Yeah.
You do exactly what she says all the time. She wears the pants in that relationship. Sorry, Alex.
I would like to say that I do.
He's always telling me, my wife, I can't do this because of my wife.
Bro.
My wife.
Yeah.
It's like, you mess with her, you mess with the family. Because I think she's Italian. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't mess with an Italian mama. No. I'm not Italian, but.
Good morning, Kurt. Nancy, good morning. Hi, Karen.
Classes,
good morning.
The priest asked us who was the boss, and I said me, and my husband said me, and they're like, nuh-uh.
Good morning, Renee from Oregon. Yeah.
David, he just manipulates you.
Or the number one cause of divorce, marriage. Okay, Dave.
Okay, that's true.
Ben says his wife is perfect.
Ben, you are the smartest man.
He got it in writing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he got it out there.
Ben is smart.
Yeah.
His wife is the best. Terry's in Utah. Trisha says she's Italian. Watch out.
Yeah. We got people all over the country checking in right now. Good to see everybody on a Monday morning.
Hey, from Oregon. Thank you for telling us where you're at.
Do we have is the cancel this page up right now? Am I just not seeing that?
You know, you talking about the main page?
Oh, no. I see.
There
it is. It was up and then it went down. I got you.
Angie says infidelity.
When the in-laws are connected to mafia, it removes some arguments from ever happening. That's true.
That is true.
Yeah. Robbie says people who believe the government cares about them.
Yeah.
Think the stripper likes them too. Good morning.
Right. I think when the mafia and the mob was in St. Louis City, we were safer, actually.
What do you mean was?
Was. Okay. Well, they're not very as strong as they were because there's a lot of crime that have nothing to do with them.
Dave says his wife is the boss.
Mm-hmm. See the manipulation right there? It's right there.
That's probably why I'm not married anymore. I couldn't figure that out. No, I'm kidding. That's a funny one. All right. It's Monday. We got lots to get to. We'll rock to it. Let's start the show. Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. It is Monday, August 21st. I'm Vic Faust with the Lizzie Sparks, the Pro Joe. We're ready to rock and roll today. We're Monday through Friday all the time, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time. On our website, cancelthisshow.com. Hope everybody had a terrific weekend. We're packed as we normally are on Mondays. Derek says, Joe needs to show Vic my beer machine. Have you seen the beer machine? Did he send you a picture of that at some point in time?
He did send me a picture of it.
Find it whenever. Yeah. We can pop it in. Whatever.
Send it to me again because I just actually deleted it out of the system because I didn't think that we would get back to it.
No soup for you, Joe.
No soup for you. No soup for you.
He'll get it in. He'll buy there. All right. We're on Rumble. We're on Cloud Hub. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Check out all those sites on our website, cancelthisshow.com. And of course, for everybody who listens, you can check out all those platforms as well. Google, Apple, Spotify, and more. Cancelthisshow.com. Okay. We got many topics to get to. For example, CNN giving Donald Trump credit, believe it or not. Donald Trump decides what he's going to do with the debates coming up. We'll get into all that as well. Some massive issues regarding the judge surrounding the January 6th indictment with him. That's a farce. There's no way in hell they'll see that through. There is no way in hell. Ron DeSantis uncampaigns himself. I guess it's just the pressure that gets to candidates when they know that they can't win. Mm-hmm. They start saying crazy crap. I don't even know if they're being told to say it or if they're just feeling the pressure and they start acting like they normally would not. More signs that Biden won't be running in 2024. Kid Rock drinking a beer. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that. We'll see what's going on from that standpoint. COVID talk. There's a massive BRICS meeting tomorrow. Putin will not be there, but it's coming, people. The financial sector will be changing, and we've been talking about that here for some time. There's more news out of Hawaii. Anything else you guys want to jump into, you let us know. We're going to do it. Okay, don't go anywhere. We just want to show you our sponsors really quick. We're going to come right back. We're going to jump right in. Is COVID returning? There's more and more talk because you have certain... Alex Jones started a fireball of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with it. I don't believe it. But another one of my friends told me he does. So don't go anywhere. Come back in like 2.5 minutes and we'll get into it.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last. Like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
Jonathan, what does make Rockwood so special?
Rockwood, we carbonize it higher than anybody else does. So we're cooking out everything that produces ash, smoke, anything like that. It gives you a lot more control over the temperature, a lot more control over the fire, and it's 100% Missouri product.
All right, where can people get it?
It's at 100-plus locations around St. Louis, any Deerberg, Straub's, meat markets, wine and cheese stores, hardware stores, you name it, we're around St. Louis. Just check the website.
And good charcoal should be able to break apart in your hands like
absolutely,
does,
yeah.
Right?
If you can't break it apart by hand, it's not charcoal yet. It's still wood. They didn't do the job, so make sure it can break apart by hand.
All right, get your Rockwood charcoal.
Marco, Wait, what? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
Hey guys, welcome back to cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks here, Pro Joe in the house as well. It is Monday, August 21st edition of the podcast. All right, over the weekend, you started to see reports. Maybe some of you didn't see this, but I did, and I saw it like 3 or 4 different spots. Maybe some of us who go to the same places and look for information and are on the same, follow the same people hear it. COVID making a return. Okay.
Yeah.
Restrictions being put back into place by mid-September, October. I'm not buying it. It's too out in the open. There's no way in hell. I saw this from some guy named Alex Jones. He was alleging that he had a whistleblower from the TSA telling him and his staff that they are expecting to put COVID restrictions back in place mid-September into October. Now, is it a situation to get ratings? Is it a ploy to scare people? Is it good commentary? Is it concerning? Do they care? That's just the first place I heard it. And then I started to see a few other articles. Well, it could be coming back. Then The Guardian had an article out of London where doctors are saying, yep, it's inevitable. It's coming back. All of a sudden, and we didn't, I mean, as if it was on cue for August, September, October of 2023. So The Guardian writes an article and they start giving, well, we see COVID coming back and there's variants and all this other crap right now. I don't see any way in hell this makes it in America. I'm sorry. Number one, there's so much to break down because there is the common cold. Remember, the cold never went anywhere, okay? It didn't. Regardless of what government people tried to tell you and Fauci likes, it didn't just stay down in the tropics somewhere. It was here. It was here. It just didn't disappear. The cold is other things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There's variants. And I'm sorry, and I don't care if it upsets you. This is the truth. I went through this and studied it on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And it's everywhere. It's a scare tactic. I'm not saying whether it is or it isn't coming back or that we're going to have it sent our way. But no matter what it is, they're going to do it before the election. UK is pushing the masks already, pushing the poison in the arm and all that over and over. So it's already in UK. The scare is already there. And so they're going to come over here and try to do it to us, try to do it to our kids. And you know, this might piss people off, but it is all about control. It is not because that people are getting the C word. And they might get it. People do get it. It's a cold. It's here. It's here to stay. You know, suck it up, move on, blow your nose, come on. Do not put that mask back on your kids. Do not put that jab in your arm. Or if you do, you are literally doing what the government wants you to do. You're being the rube. I'm sorry, but you are. It's here. I'm sorry. It's here. Somebody's going to get it. But the bigger thing is, how are you going to react to it? Are you going to stay in your little hidey hole? Are you going to put a mask behind yourself? Are you going to run and get your 14th booster? I mean, I hope this time that if you feel that's what you need to do, knock yourself out. Go do it. But do not do it to the children, and do not come up to anyone else and tell them to do it. We have got to stop this. We already saw what happened the last time. The authorities and the doctors came out and said they were wrong. Don't fall for it again, people. Don't do it.
If we get there, yes, I agree. And it's interesting because we've seen all of the data now come out in the last 3 months about how there were so many lies that were pushed forward, untruths that were pushed forward, things being pushed that were not good, like the cupcake, how it didn't really do what we said it would do. The sickness itself is real, and so many people were affected by it.
100%.
But we also saw that a high majority of the unfortunate deaths were not, quote, because of, quote, COVID. There was be other issues.
Correct.
And the comorbidities. And I know that they would trigger comorbidities, but people were they were on that path in the first place. And I'm not trying to sound unkind, but those things happened. They were not because of it. We just did a data story on it 2 weeks ago.
Correct. And we absolutely know that the treatment, like Nancy said on the chat line, killed more than the actual disease or virus.
And the reason we do it is because Alex Jones said that a TSA whistleblower told him that TSA employees have been instructed that because mask works so well, still not one scientifically controlled study has ever been done to show that masks work, unless it's an N95 that's been taped to your face, you have no beard, disposed of in the proper form. We've already been through everything else. It's a farce.
That's what you just said. The proper form. I saw people, if masks were so great, why were they thrown all over the sidewalk? Even at hospitals. I saw it down in hospitals in St. Louis. Took my daughter for her heart appointment, and there's masks overflowing out the trash can at a hospital.
That said that the TSA whistleblower instructed that they would be back for travelers for October. Full vid restrictions, lockdowns by December due to a new dangerous variant.
Yes.
This time out of Canada. Okay. Is it all possible? Certainly it's possible. Do I think it's going to fly here? Hell freaking no. Not in the United States. No way. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. No way. It won't happen. No freaking way. There are people who like to do that and wear the stuff, and even though there's no studies on it, but it's just very difficult for me to believe this will actually go in, since this started to make its rounds and people started to talk so much about it over the weekend. I just don't see how it goes. I don't see, especially when we know that masks don't work. We know that all the cupcake enhancements don't work.
The enhancements.
They don't. I wish that they did. That'd be great. That'd be great if they did. No way. It's just
they don't.
Yeah, Heather says, Vic, there will be people comply. Yeah, of course there will be people.
There will
but
be.
Not as many. No way in hell.
Yeah, I hope
no way
not.
in hell.
I hope
and the
not.
fact that we're even talking about this makes me sick to my stomach because I'm so over it. Went through all of that crap, and if it's the control situation, maybe, but we've all talked about certain things happening and certain things getting put into the mix to before we get to 24 or as 24 comes in. What's going to happen? Alex Jones isn't the only person that's saying it. That's just one of the biggest voices because I know he has a ton of followers. It's being said and pushed about by other people as well. And it's not the way we wanted to start a freaking Monday off.
No.
But it's legit.
But we have to. We have to tell people to be brave.
And now that it's been put out there, then it's like, well, crap. You can't just avoid it because you don't like it.
I know.
Rob says right before the election, weird. Technically not right before, but it all depends in the grand scheme of things in regards to where we are with it. But, we've all had our experiences with this over the years, and think back why I would be shocked if it came back then. It's because the shot's already been called. No pun intended, meaning, well, this is when it's going to happen. Normally government does not allow that to happen. I could see them. Well, it's not going to happen now, but then maybe a few months later. But look at all the evidence now. I always say the scorecard. We know that there are certain labs in a certain country that's been paying Mr. Hunter Biden a lot of money.
Yep.
There were labs there. They were found there. We also know that our government, while they wouldn't say it was 100% man-made, they refused to say that it just came from it came out of nowhere. Bats. All the evidence pointed to it as, and those labs are being protected, which means if it was done and if it was produced, and it has been, and there's plenty of information to show that it has been, and it has been for decades, you can do what you want with it when you want. You can unleash what you want. But at the same point in time, even if it's a bad situation, you can't run for the hills. Yes, it could be an undesirable variant. But at the same point in time, you can't get caught up in all of the crap. The other thing, the only thing that Joe Biden had any sort of a positive approval on in his entire was when he first came into office were COVID things.
Isn't that interesting?
That's it.
There's no coincidence in that. I mean, there just isn't. It is queuing up what's coming up. It is queuing this next year coming up is the whole year where people, that are politicians go out and they push their campaigns. They're going to do it early. There's no coincidence this is happening at the same time they're doing this as Donald Trump. There is absolutely no coincidence in any of this. And the sad part of it is I agree with you, Vic, fool me once, fool me twice, although I wasn't even one of the ones fooled. But a lot of people I get were. But you're still going to see those, like Bindi was saying on the chat line, in her swimming pool, her neighborhood swimming pool, there was a lady in the full, I guess she was Middle Eastern, in the whole garb from head to toe with the hijab, I think that's how you say it, on her head, and a mask in a swimming pool. Come on.
Greg says, guys, it's just another distraction.
It
from
is.
High oil, interest rates, food, etc., how bad Biden is, and so forth. You need new stories to come to the forefront to take away. Now, this isn't a liberal. This is Alex Jones who first put this out there. Okay. Now, is it behind the scenes? Could be getting everybody ready? Yeah, it could be. But once again, it is out there now. And we're getting to the end of August, and they're talking about this mid-September into October, full restrictions in place by December. So, it's August 21st. We're talking about this, bringing this up. Where will this take us? I don't know. Is it real? Do you believe it? Could you see it coming back? What would you do? How would you respond? Full lockdowns? No way. Maybe in Canada, maybe where Trudeau is, not in the United States. No way in hell. No way. No.
You really think they won't do, like Sam Page won't try to lock down the county again?
He would.
Yeah, I think he would.
We saw what he did. He didn't even he refused to look at data.
Correct.
He refused to look at any, and I mean any sort of evidence. Yeah.
Correct. But I agree with you. You absolutely cannot fall for that this time. You have to tell everyone and walk into a store. And if, your supermarket hands you a mask or says you can't go in, this time, you guys, you've got to turn around. There will be other supermarkets that do not make you wear them.
God. Yeah. You're going the full distance. I didn't even think about that.
I am. It's like, you will see that at Schnucks, like in our area, it'll be Schnucks. They were literally the mask Nazi. Then go over to Deerberg's. And if you're in a different, part of the country and that's not the name of your stores, you will go into one and they will have a mask and they will hand it to you. And so many people just put it on. Went, okay, I really got to go get my milk.
Do you really think that this would be pushed as
yes.
Alex Jones is saying? You really?
Yes.
You think
100%. I think it's going to be pushed. I think the reaction, there's going to be less and less people that fall for it this time. But you're still, look at the people that are still riding a bike right now, right in the middle of Forest Park with a mask on.
There's some. Yeah, but not the greater majority. And Helen says, guys, this is the WDF.
Yeah.
She's
right.
WHO and CDC. They are planning this again. The WEF has told us point blank there will be another pandemic. They have, and it's easy to forget the things that we've been told. It's easy to forget what's happened. It's easy to forget, oh yeah, we're going to, well, that's all we knew at the time, guys. We gave you the information. We cared about you. Now we're going to go back and say, well, that data really wasn't there. And, most people took emergency use. So if something bad happens to you, sorry, you took it under an emergency use authorization when it comes to that cupcake.
Well, haven't you even seen the stores? Bindi and several people on the chat line pointed this out. When you go to these stores now, Target, anywhere, even this is all over the United States, you go up and instead of like 4 pickup spots now, there's getting to be 20. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. One, people have gotten used to that, and that is really cool, to be honest, to just, put it online and go pick it up. But they too are preparing for what is coming or what people are going to say that is coming, so they maybe don't have to deal with the mask thing.
Wait a minute. You think that's why they're adding spots?
I do. I really do think that's why they're adding spots. It's a combination of 2 things. There are definitely more people that are ordering online. I know I'm one of those now that I figured out that I could do that. But there's also, they know it's coming. Some might not even agree with it, but they're like, oh crap, here we go with the mask Nazi thing again. And
Joe,
so
what were you going to say,
preparing.
buddy?
I was just going to say this is going to be worse than the previous time for sure.
Yeah.
They're going to come up with new ways to make us wear the mask.
And by the way, Kimberly, you say that we're cutting out during the C talk. Yeah, it can happen. But once again, if that stuff happens, we love it. I know the chat is great on the FB platform that we have here, but we have several others. We have YouTube, we have Rumble, we have Cloud Hub. We're live there, all those places as well.
Yeah.
So we're sorry. And sometimes that goes out, and it does that even when we're not talking about Antarctica or
right.
or BG.
Yes. There are certain things that we know we say, but it's like we're kind of getting tired of beating around the bush. And it's like, because even we never know what they're going to do it with. But, you can turn off your Wi-Fi, turn it back on. That usually helps a little bit. You can switch platforms. But I get all of you FB people. It is the most fun platform to talk on.
If this does not happen, then I'm kind of frustrated with Alex Jones. Just because you put this out into the atmosphere, you start talking about it, it's like, okay, maybe you stop it by talking about it. I don't know. But if it doesn't, then everybody's all getting riled up and talking about, oh my God, this can happen. But once again, it's not just him. I mean, I was talking.
Quite a few people talking about it.
I said the Guardian, it's actually the Independent. But I mean, you're talking about experts in the UK now telling everybody and telling their citizens, COVID-19 is not gone. Another wave's coming, and that people should get ready to wear masks again.
Right.
Hospital admissions in the UK have risen in weeks. And they say, oh, the effectiveness of the cupcakes is wearing off. So guess what? We've got new cupcake enhancers for everybody.
Yippee. Have a
And
party.
now we've learned a lot more for any of us or you who have taken any sort of cupcake about the metal and the things that are in these enhancers and cupcakes that go into your body and where it comes after. We're not trying to scare anybody. We're just talking because it became a massive story over the weekend.
Correct.
A big story. And while we don't see it happening from a media standpoint in this country, it is happening in the UK. And I'm not ready for that. I can tell you that. Control what you can rest is unnecessary stress, coming from Jay.
That's good advice.
And Aaron says the cupcakes are keeping it alive with the antibody dependent enhancement.
I agree with the shedding. That I agree that shedding happens. I agree that so many people took it that it is keeping it alive. I totally agree. And I can't tell people not to take it, of course, because that's not my place. Some people feel more comfortable taking it, but the shedding of it is a real thing.
Alex says it could just be a teasing to keep it option for a possible playbook in the future. I can see that, but it never really went away. I mean, we knew it went away for the most. We weren't talking about it, but about 2 months ago, even in the heart of summer, at the beginning of summer, I saw a story. Well, it's gone away, but there's some cases here and there, and then exactly again, what is it exactly, and what determines it? And what happened to the flu? Common cold. which we already know and had proved so many times as we do our refresher course, would show up as a positive for COVID. Yeah, where'd all the flu cases go? Well, it disappeared. Now we've got more COVID than we've ever had, but we have no flu. It's like, okay,
Give
come
me
on.
a break with that.
But once again, people are like, oh my God, are you serious? Is this stuff going again? No. And as Heather says, people, give me a break. It's a freaking variant of the flu.
Correct.
It's mutated down like every respiratory virus does. And that's what it has done from time. And just remember, there is proof. There is federal proof, signed off papers that these things were created in a lab. These viruses were created. It just didn't happen out of nowhere. And you know what? On tomorrow's show, I'll do a breakdown from Dr. David Martin. I'll do it tomorrow.
Good.
I've already done most of it to show you some of the history, and it will blow your freaking mind if you're not familiar with him yet. Listener, viewer Megan sent me some information, and she joins in the show sometimes. And she's like, Vic, you got to check out David Martin. So I started reading it and studying it. And she chimes in there sometimes, Megan Marie. And I was like, oh my God. And it's all out there. They had they weren't allowed to have the conferences in the United States. They had it across seas. But it was all kind of a wrap up. Look what happened, where we are. This stuff was a joke. I mean, the sickness wasn't, but the stats
were. The reaction to it.
And the advice.
Correct. Yes. The reaction was it was so overblown. And some people say it's because of people were just so inadequate and they just didn't know what they were talking about. And I think there was some of that, but we all know that the government did it purposeful. And in my opinion, to really take down the election, because there's so many things that we, the people, not just Donald Trump, we were coming by as a huge force of people that were now seeing the way bigger picture, even more so than just COVID. We were coming at the government and they wanted it stopped. And so therefore, this is what they did.
And Angie, please remind me again on the message. You said you sent me the patent number, what that is. You can message me and let me know exactly what that was about. Helen says what Vic was talking about, Dr. David Martin, he was testifying in front of the British Parliament, which is... like I said, it'll blow your mind. It gives you the history. This just didn't come out of nowhere. That does not happen.
Correct.
However, when media is compliant, when media doesn't really want to buck the system and just go with the flow, that's the kind of messages that get out there where you don't know and see whatever happens. The nanoparticles coming from DRC says containing the mRNA mishmash attaches to whatever it touches. The original cupcake was supposed, I'm deciphering and put my own words on this, was supposed to stay in place, right? Nope. It travels, and they knew it.
They knew it.
So it's out there, people. Don't be surprised if you start to see some more stories where it gets talked about. Usually it's over a period of time where you kind of get beaten down with a message to try to get something. Well, it's coming here, let's put it in place. And I have found that more people are against cancel culture. More people are against what happened here when it comes to this whole topic we're talking about. More people are more apt to call out situations privately.
Yes.
And they'll support one another. But for some reason, people are afraid to say things in public or any public setting or with people they may not know because they're so afraid of what may happen to them. They're so afraid of being canceled. They're so afraid of having people say, it's like, oh, I'm just going to be quiet here. I'm not going to say anything because, it's just... And unfortunately, the quieter you get over time and time and time, you become what that word was used today by one of our viewers, compliant.
Yes.
And that becomes an issue. You have to have strength in numbers, and which is why you have to be able to not be afraid to talk about things. You don't have to be loud and crazy and Alex Jones-like and everything else. I'm telling you, TSA people tell me right now, we're going to die.
You sounded just like
But
him.
I told you I like to do impressions.
I know, you're good at them. You're really good at them.
But sometimes you can be persistent, but be patient, be polite, but you just can't be quiet. You gotta be able to speak up. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, Todd said he's not afraid. He's going to Schnucks, which is a grocery store in the St. Louis area, and licking the conveyor belt.
Oh. As Donna reminds us, in 2020, we lost several loved ones in the family. Everybody knows somebody who died from it, and or a comorbidity from it, or
correct.
It put somebody maybe on a faster track who already had. Because if you look, over 90 or 95% of the deaths attributed to COVID were people who had severe comorbidities, people who were not healthy.
Yes. But that is very true. And more that I talk to people, they're glad if they didn't take it. They're glad they didn't. I haven't met one person that didn't take the jab in the arm that said, oh, I really wished I had. But I see a lot of people that said they wish they hadn't have ever taken it because now their body is doing things that they don't even understand.
Yeah, I talked about that last week. I know 3 people who are dealing with health conditions. 2 of them openly admit it was because of the cupcake.
Yeah.
They honestly believe that.
There's a couple of people that I know that took it and have had COVID 2 or 3 times since they had all the shots.
That's not supposed to happen.
Oh, yeah.
That in itself should make somebody angry. Okay, you were promised by Fauci and whoever else that, if you take this and Kamala Harris and all these people, you will not get it. You absolutely will not get it. So they take the jab, then they take the boosters, and they got it more than people who didn't even have the jab. It's bizarre. So, I mean,
just remember the scorecard. So many things happen. So many things continue to hit us on a daily basis. It's easy to forget.
Yes, it is easy to forget.
Mary says, yes, I know many people that have had many shots and of course got it. And that continues to go down. Tara says, I know several people with ailments post cupcakes who refuse to see the connection though. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Rob's taught us a lot over the years about vaccinations. Rob Bazell, who's done his own research. I don't know anybody who knows more about all vaccinations than Rob, even some doctors that weren't taught because you have to teach, and he is self-taught for years because you'll do that when your daughter's life depends on it. And as he reminds us, the doctors put them on ventilators before trying oxygen. The hospitals had bonuses for COVID intake, COVID death. Yes, of course. That's why they were passing away from the vid when they died with the vid.
Yes.
Totally makes sense. And then, of course, those numbers get stat. Then you have reporters talking about daily death counts when reporters should be talking about missing children and where they are doing those daily counts, not the hospital counts. And that's just calling black and white issues what they should be.
Yeah.
But it all gets down to the messaging. So we'll continue to follow that story. We'll see where it all goes. I'm not sure. I'm not ready for it.
No, no, I don't think anybody's ready for it, but I hope people are knowing that they are going to try to push it again and be prepared on how you're going to respond to it this time. Don't give in so quickly. Don't give in. Don't put that mask on your face. Be ready to fight it. Be ready. And like you were saying, Vic, if people are, more and more people will fight it this time. People are fed up. And so they have to not be as quiet. Or if they're not someone that's willing to speak on the air like you and I are, at least when they try to put a muzzle on your kids, say absolutely not. Because my kid won't wear one again. I'm going to tell you
kids will get pushed into that.
They will.
It's easy to send those messages out. Yeah, I saw this come out and I was like, there's no way. I literally looked up to see if it was from Babylon. That's a website that produces fake news, fake funny news. Because I was like, there's no way Alex Jones is putting it out there. And sure enough, that's what a TSA whistleblower told him. So
yeah, I believe it.
We'll see where those stories go here coming in the next weeks. This is cancelthisshow.com. And I'll do a breakdown tomorrow, like I said, for the show from Dr. David Martin. Just wait to hear the origins of COVID, how Dr. Fauci was associated with this, how COVID was actually around in the 60s.
Yes.
In the 60s. This just didn't, and it's all proved by government documents. And the sound will blow your mind. So we'll come into, unless there's some massive major news, we'll do that right off the top of the hour tomorrow at 8.
Yeah. Well, and there were several people, we had, for whatever reason, an old Lysol can, the kind that came in like the metal container. And it was probably a decade and a half old. And it said, it does not cure COVID or the coronavirus or something to that effect. So, I mean, obviously they knew it was around. They knew.
No, of course they did. They did. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. You can watch on several platforms that we have at cancelthisshow.com. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, Cloud Hub. Massive amount of people watch us on Cloud Hub. We're grateful. We say hi to all of you. And, of course, we say hello to all of our listeners on the audio podcast version when you catch it non-live. And, of course, that's all over the place. Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, we're on a bunch of different spots there, so we appreciate it. Pam says, yeah, we saw the new one that said the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're trying to protect themselves.
Yep.
Of course they are, but people get into habits. Oh, well, we should do this or we should do that. And of course, Angie says that's what Dr. Eric Pudi said about it. It's been here for years, and it has been.
It has been.
Switching gears just a little bit. Massive news over the weekend. Monday news dump. It's the Friday news dump, Saturday news dump that we get to talk about a lot on Mondays. Big political news from the weekend. Something that we knew would probably happen. Now it's official. Donald Trump says, I'm not going to do the debate. And I think we all kind of knew that, even though he was toying with people. Should I do it? Should I not do it? He has an over 61% support rate right now to be the nominee for the Republican Party. He has said they can try to convict me. He's like, I'll run from prison. I'll do whatever it takes. You're not going to get rid of me. The only way Donald Trump does not run for president in 2024 is if he is not breathing for some reason or not. He is going to do it. He is not going to do the debate. And you know what? Because of how he's been treated, because he's already been the president, because we have seen his policies, because we know his policies, because he has already said everything that he is going to do. And it would all just be 10 on 1 or
Correct.
11 on 1.
Yeah.
Not a lot would get done. He wouldn't let it be done. I think it would be do you remember that last debate with him and Biden? It was terrible.
Right. It wasn't very good. And I'm kind of
I don't have an issue with Donald Trump not doing it.
I don't either. I think it's better that he doesn't. He's going to go on Tucker. So people who want to hear it can just go here on Tucker. And I probably will go back and watch that. But I would like to hear the debate of all the rest of them without him being there, because maybe that could be the good VP. It won't be the president, but it could be who the good VP might be. So there is 0 point that Donald Trump does it. 0 point.
Here's the problem, though. If one of these VP candidates, as you say, or Republican nominees for the actual nominee to be president, says anything about Donald Trump, because his pride is, they would never be his running mate.
Correct. That as well. And we'll be able to see that.
Now, Vivek has also said something. He's kind of changing his tune about Trump. He has come out and said some things that are not positive. That's why I don't think he'll be the guy. I don't.
Yeah.
As
I don't
popular
think so
and as surging as he is, I feel it would be a woman. And I don't know who that would be, but or the person who stayed quietest the longest.
Yes.
Like a Tim Scott has been very, very, very quiet. You haven't heard much from him.
No.
But these are the things that are going on. So I have no problem with Donald Trump not debating. You don't either?
No, I think he shouldn't.
And he's going to outdraw, because this is what he does. He's going to outdraw the debate. Fox is now trying to get him to do it. They're doing certain stories because they got the debate.
Correct.
So they want to make money. They want to sell advertising. They want to get eyeballs and viewers. And Fox has already got a problem right now with people not turning to their stations as much as they were over the past year. So they'll push stories about these other candidates. And oh my gosh, Vivek, and I like him. He is surging. It's not going to happen. Donald Trump is going to do that. He'll probably do the Tucker interviews. He said he would. And the ratings will be massive.
Correct. I think the majority of the Trump supporters that I know, or just the not even necessarily Trump supporters, but the MAGA movement, will be watching Tucker. And I'm definitely going to watch that too. But I think we know what that interview is going to be like. The good thing about Donald Trump is we know his policies. We know what he's going to do. And I think it's great if everybody tunes in over there and nobody listens to the debates. But I am going to listen to debates because I want to hear what they're saying. not because I think they're going to be the president, but I can see what you were saying earlier, Vic, maybe somebody that he can appoint to be in his cabinet or the VP. But you're right. If anyone says anything negative about him, they will not be on his cabinet and they will not be his VP. But you know what? I don't blame him. It is disgusting that if you want something from somebody, you just talk trash about him, and then something later you're like, oh, okay, now I'm going to grovel at your feet. He's got to put the one of the biggest things Trump did wrong is he did not surround him by people, or surround himself that people that were loyal to him. And I don't think he understood the volume of just snake-like, swamp-like people that even maybe weren't like that when they got in there, and you all had to turn if you were going to get along in that environment.
No, I get it. And that's why I say it. And he keeps a list.
He does keep a list. Yeah, he keeps a list.
And he kind of always, and he always has been. That's just who he is and what he'll do in regards to that. We still have it as close as we are. We still have a lot of time. I envision Trump like the guy from what's the actor's name in Billy Madison. The character that Adam Sandler played, Billy Madison, he calls up the old guy who he did bad stuff to, and he had a hit list.
Oh, that's right. Yes, had a hit list.
And then Billy was nice and apologized, so his name got taken off the hit list.
Yeah.
Trump has hit list.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whether he has a little written down note or not, or whether it's a mental hit list, he has a hit list.
Correct.
And when somebody calls to apologize to Donald Trump, he's like the actor. What was that? Is it Rob? Or who's the actor? Guys, help me out. Who was the actor from Billy Madison who had the hit list when Adam Sandler playing Billy Madison called him and apologized for being a jerk to him in yesteryear, and then he was taken off the list?
Yeah,
you guys, I need you guys to step up for me.
Yeah, somebody on the chat
I don't have time to go look.
Yeah, somebody on the chat line, look it up and let us know.
Anyway, Trump has that deal. Oh, Steve Buscemi. Yeah, I was close.
Yeah,
I was calling him Rob Buscemi. Steve Buscemi. That's Trump. You do something with Trump, he's got his list.
Oh.
He may have somebody on his staff getting paid serious money to have a Trump hit list.
Yeah.
To make sure. Oh, yeah, the dude from Fargo. There you go. Buscemi, you guys rock. Oh, Doyle, Derek Pratt, I'm following you. So the Donald Trump news from there, that's just one thing. Then, why? That's my Nancy Kerrigan. Coming out.
Why?
By the way, when I worked in Detroit, I went to that ice rink and I just
walked. Did you really?
Yeah, because that event with Nancy Kerrigan when she took the club to the lake.
Yeah, that was something else.
I walked to that ice rink and I felt weird. I was just like walking around. I felt like it should be a museum or something.
Yeah. You know, it's one of the listeners
had
several months ago said that I looked like Tanya Harding, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh.
How'd you feel about that?
It kind of hurt a little bit.
No, they meant that in a compliment.
Well,
she's younger, right?
Oh yeah, I never talked about that.
See,
I just thought they
it's all
thought I might take out somebody's ankle.
Crazy ass from Big C.
Oh yeah.
Somebody said, "Ouch" for that. That you look like Tanya Harding.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I'm assuming that is maybe not a compliment. I mean, she's not an ugly person, but she is ugly on the inside, for sure. Although, she did come out and apologize years later. And she
she did.
She did. She came out and apologized.
She had to get on the reality TV shows.
That's right.
She got on and she did some of those reality TV shows.
Uh-huh.
She might have made a movie. I don't know.
I think she did.
I don't know.
I think she did.
But anyway, so Vivek kind of isn't promoting Donald Trump as much anymore because he wants to compete with him. I get that. But then why the hell? I mean, it's like, can you guys remember a candidate who had so much esteem? We're like, wow, this guy could be our very next president. Take more of a fast nosedive than Ron DeSantis.
Oh, he really.
And I know we've got some listeners who love Ron, and you're more than entitled to.
Absolutely.
But Ron has really made a bunch of mistakes. His campaign was bad. He's done some bad things. They've shown desperate times. Ron DeSantis on Saturday, he and I just have a feeling as long as Donald Trump's around, this will be used against him.
I think so.
He literally came out and said, and he called Trump backers, Trump supporters, listless And where's the quote again? I'm sorry, I'm looking for it.
It was
listless vessels.
Yes. That is kind of like
Ron DeSantis called Trump supporters listless vessels. Ron, what is good? Maybe he's just had it.
He probably has just had
There
it.
is more. There's no more self-sabotage that you can have than to rip all of Trump Nation right now at this point in history.
Correct. That was dumb because we are the majority. And most people don't understand. It's not like we're in love with Donald Trump. We're in love with America first. We don't care about his tweets. We don't care about any of that. And up until the point Ron said that, I understand that, you know, he was kind of getting milquetoast and his campaign blew it. But up to that point, I kind of liked him. But I'm going to tell you, Ron DeSantis, I am not also a basket of deplorable. And I am not a listless vessel. So you just lost 60 some odd % of the Republicans because now they will not vote for you. They will not.
It's bad. This is, it's going to stick with him.
It is. It is.
I mean, but there was no reason. Here's the thing. He was unprovoked and it wasn't even Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It was the people who support Donald Trump.
Right. Right.
Here's the full context of the quote, because I always think you should know the entire story.
Yes.
This was during a sit-down interview too. I mean, it's all planned out.
Yeah.
It's planned. It wasn't like, hey, it was a quick hit. It wasn't somebody got in his face or pointed in his face or cussed at him or tried to set him up. This was all planned out. And this is how Ron responded. He said, the quote, because if you're not rooted in principle, if all we are is listless vessels that are just supposed to follow, you know, whatever happens to come down the pike on Truth Social every morning, referring to Donald Trump, that's not going to be a durable movement. And he continued during the interview with the Florida Standard, referring to Trump's social media website.
Correct.
He also said that Trump's base values loyal to Trump over conservative principles, and that unless you're kissing his rear end, they will somehow call you a rhino, which they had to put in parentheses as a Republican in name only.
Right, right. Yeah, that just sealed his coffin. I mean, that was cringy, because did he not remember how that happened when Hillary called people a basket of deplorables? People do not want to be grouped in anything. If you are following, quote, the Trump train, you just love this country so much. So you're insulting America lovers is who you're insulting.
It didn't work. It didn't work for Hillary. And unfortunately, and like I said, I like Ron DeSantis, but I mean,
too,
and what like Rasmussen poll, and I know it wasn't a lot of people, he was behind Vivek. He's probably going to drop even further now. So the best thing for him maybe is just to be quiet, go away, come back. I know that's going to piss off DeSantis. I'm talking about for his future.
I think so too. I think he needs to just go deal with Florida, and he did a great job with Florida.
And currently doing a great job.
Yes, he is. He is doing a great job. He needs to just kind of wilt away and on the big form and just go take care of his state, because he was a viable candidate that in 2028 he would have gotten elected if he didn't just, become this name caller, this of the Trump people. And his campaign was just ridiculous. It was bad. Whoever he had running it did not do a good job. It's time for him to just kind of slink away and go back to Florida.
Did you say slink away?
Yeah, I did. And with his head
like
in
the
shame.
slinky going down the steps.
Yes.
Slowly go
He
down.
just needs to slink away and go back and do the badass job he's done for Florida.
Yeah, the other analogy is Homer Simpson from The Simpsons, as you see, or if you've seen the meme where he slowly disappears into the bush.
Yes, into the bush. That needs,
it's kind of what Rick Scott, it's kind of what Tim Scott's done over the last 3 months. We haven't heard 4 months. We haven't heard hardly anything from Tim Scott.
No, we haven't.
Anything.
Nope.
Greg says, hey, by the way, there's a video of Hillary saying the election was stolen from her as well. 2 minutes of her bitching, now denying. Yeah, I saw it.
Right.
Al Gore did the same thing.
They deny it.
Which is what we have going on there. I just can't remember another politician who had so much popularity outside of Ron DeSantis lose it that fast.
Correct.
And maybe Howard Dean.
Oh, yeah, Howard Dean.
Yeah!
Yeah, I had forgotten about him and heard that this morning.
On the Democratic side.
Yes, he reminded me of Howard Dean when he did that. And, it was, he said that he wasn't going to name call. And you know what? I don't even think as many Trump supporters or people that are in the MAGA movement would have cared if he had said something bad about Trump in and of itself. Everybody else does. So he could have called Trump a name, but he called the MAGA movement people a name. There is a difference.
I want to get to this. I appreciate Aaron when he chimes in, but Aaron, I know that you're jaded, but you have to remember your quote is the amount of names Trump has thrown his way and y'all mad he took one swipe back. I thought only libs took words out of context and clutched pearls. No, well, here's where you made your mistake, Aaron, and I'm sorry. And I just need to correct that. Trump didn't rip Ron DeSantis voters or followers. And if he did,
correct,
tell me, and I'll say, oh, yep, you're right. This is Ron DeSantis taking jabs at people who follow Trump.
Correct.
Trump's deal with Ron was that he saved Ron's ass.
Correct.
Ron was a nobody, a nothing
Yes.
burger, a loser, was not going to win the state. And I'm
Correct.
glad that Trump went and saved his ass.
Me too. I'm
Trump
glad he did.
saved his ass. And he was even doing commercials where he's reading kids' books about Donald Trump to his kids
Yes.
to save his ass.
Yes.
And Trump saved him.
Yes.
And then Trump had a problem with his disloyalty, because we know in this country, in this world now,
Yeah.
loyalty is lost.
Yes.
People
Loyalty
are not
is
loyal.
lost. Yeah.
That's why he was saying things about DeSantis. And I called Trump out for saying this, and it was
Yeah.
childish.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him ripping Ron DeSantis followers for following Ron.
No.
That's what
He wanted
that's what I
them
think
to
the
follow
difference
him.
is.
That's the deal. And for people who don't like Donald Trump and they just love DeSantis, here's the real thing. DeSantis is done now. I mean, he's done. So who are you going to follow now?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel bad for people like Aaron who really wanted him to win and thought he had a chance, and now he's got
because he
zero
did have a
chance.
chance. He
I know.
actually had a chance, and he don't anymore.
It's over for DeSantis,
Yes.
and he made his bed, and it's sad.
It
And
is sad.
just please, Ron, be quiet.
Just be
Find a
quiet.
different
Yes.
campaign team. Wait your turn.
Yes.
And
yes.
and keep Florida going as good as it's been going.
Exactly.
It's
He kicked ass in Florida, and he would have kicked ass, I believe, for America too in 2028. But he just didn't wait his turn. And I don't know why he didn't wait his turn, other than it's lobbyists and his money people pushing him. They should never have done that yet, because 2028 would have been his.
yeah, but maybe it was because they knew all the shit that was coming down on Donald Trump and didn't think that all of these indictments would lift him higher.
That's true. That's true. I can see that too, and thinking, okay, he needs to be there.
The silent majority
Yeah.
is not going anywhere. It's
No.
getting to be even more of a majority. That's the only thing I can think of,
Yeah.
is that, boy, they had a plan in place, which is why you still had a ton of these Republicans trying to become president, a la make a name for themselves, maybe try
Correct.
to make some money, because, you make money, get the coffers, and you can, hand it back. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's where you go. So, I love it, Aaron. Aaron, maybe we'll make a little wager. Aaron says, I'll have the crow ready for you when Trump loses Iowa and New Hampshire, 2 of the first 3 primaries. Are you telling me Ron DeSantis is going to win the Republican primary? Tell me that right now. I want to know that.
Yeah, I want to know that. Okay, so if we're going to have to eat crow, which maybe we are, I don't know. I am not a fortune teller, but Ron DeSantis isn't going to be the pick. If, say, even Trump goes to jail, or even we have to eat crow because he loses a couple states, Ron DeSantis is still not going to be the person now that he did. They'll look for somebody else. And that's a shame, because DeSantis was a formidable person to have, but he blew it. He blew it.
Yeah, he did. We all know that. But sometimes when you love people, it's hard to take your jaded sunglasses off.
I know.
And
I've been there.
And then it takes time to realize, okay, yeah, I was following a guy that had no chance, but I really thought I won. Sometimes it's your heart gets in the way of your brain.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not saying that's with Aaron. I'm just saying in life
I know
in
my
general.
heart gets in front of my brain quite often, and I
mine
have to
too.
retract
Mine too.
and rethink and all
I've
that.
gone through some of those situations.
Yes, but my heart isn't with people. Be like, oh, you're just a blinded, heart-loving, Donald Trump person. I'm actually not. I just love America that much, and he's the only one that I think that can fix this. And I know that people are coming after him, but I want if somebody else comes up, even like Donald Trump, they're going to do the same thing to him too. And I think they'd fold faster. I couldn't do what Donald Trump does and do this day in and day out and not be in a fetal position on my bed. I mean, it's just, I'm impressed by him more and more all the time. And I'm not saying that he is some prophecy or anything that even God appointed, but I almost in some cases think he was definitely born for such a time as this. And that's biblical. I don't know anyone else that has the strength he does. No one, and loves our country like he does. And that is my brain, not my heart in this.
The whole situation with Trump's interesting because I couldn't believe it when I saw this video. But CNN, I think it was Friday or Saturday, they actually gave Trump credit. Jake Tapper, who has practically cried at some of his press conferences that he's had in his talks, giving Donald Trump credit, saying that Trump was right. And regarding the Hunter Biden situation, you have to, I was like, what? This came from CNN? Check out what they actually had. Jake Tapper talking about Donald Trump.
And Kristen, Glenn Kessler from the Washington Post had a fact check about Joe Biden from earlier this month, noting that Hunter Biden admitted in court in July that he was in fact paid substantial sums from Chinese companies. Kessler wrote, Hunter Biden reported nearly $2.4 million in income in 2017 and $2.2 million in income in 2018, most of which came from Chinese or Ukrainian interests. But this directly goes against what Joe Biden said in the debate in 2020 with Donald Trump. Take a listen.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China.
Once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.
So it's from two different debates, but I mean, Trump was right. I mean,
Trump was
he did
right.
make a fortune from China, and Joe Biden was wrong. I don't know that he was lying about it. He might not have been told by Hunter, but this blind spot is a problem.
It's a problem, one, because Republicans aren't going to let it go, that's for sure. But also, these problems are continuing through the legal system. It's not as though this is something that's been settled in other jurisdictions and Republicans are just harping on it. It is an ongoing thing in our courts. It's not going anywhere.
This is a blind spot. Does it concern you as a Democrat?
Well, I think dads have sometimes, and parents sometimes have blind spots about their kids, for sure, and the president may be no exception. But nothing has tied the president to any of Hunter Biden's dealings. There's no whiff of him being involved or him being implicated in it. And it's, I think it's not something the voters care a lot about.
All right, my thanks.
And we will find out, that's for sure. The fact, a couple different things that are unpacked. First of all, Jake Tapper, CNN, saying Trump was right. They're going after Joe Biden. And of course, they call it the blind spots.
The blind spots, right? And
Alex said that too. I just saw that.
And we parents do have blind spots.
It's just a little blind spot. Yeah. Well, when you're Joe Biden, you have one complete blind spot of everything from morning to night, unfortunately, in regards to the knowledge that he has over his son or refuses to listen to. CNN saying Donald Trump was right about what he said in the debates. Do they not realize? And I'm glad that they were honest. Good for you, Jake Tapper.
Yeah.
When out of all the million things that he has been right about, you're actually going to admit it. Now he has credibility if he ever wants to get on a stage and say anything publicly about Joe Biden. Joe Biden's toast.
He is toast.
It's toast.
Mm-hmm.
You can, and it's milk toast at
milk
that.
Toast.
The guy, he's just kind
burnt
of
toast.
burnt
toast.
Man, is it a bad situation? So Donald Trump. Proven to be right from a debate many years ago. Of course, a lot of times it takes time. It may take years before the truth comes out or people admit things, but you see what's going on. Donald Trump was right. Biden lied, but Democrats at certain times, he didn't know, he just didn't. He was on phone calls. Okay, we started to see all the evidence. Representative Comer of the House Oversight Committee has produced tons of evidence, and he is now frustrated, yelling that the DOJ won't do anything. It's literally third world country dictatorship that we're starting to see that's happening. those blind spots getting in people's, they're becoming issues, those blind spots. It's fascinating to see CNN admit when they have no other choice but to admit that Donald Trump was right. And they're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. Before we go to break, I want to show you this too. I don't think they have found this guy, but Trump, we know he just agitates people. Did you see the guy that set a fire, or he set a flag on fire? They're looking for this guy. Last, I think it was up to 50,000. Maybe our viewers will be able to let us know updates in regards to what it may be. But this happened in North Carolina. Watch what this guy did with the Trump flag, this bicycler.
He's got his helmet on, though.
I don't think that helmet's for biking.
I don't think it is either. These people are just so freaking
There it is. Did that end now?
angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so angry. I've never seen so much anger. It really is like good and evil. It is.
People, there's video cameras everywhere.
There is. What are you doing,
I don't care if it's a Biden sign. Well, of course, he's not really running, though. We'll get to that.
Right.
If it's in your local elections, I know Bob Nation, Chesterfield mayor in the St. Louis area. He had evidence of somebody in the campaign running against an ad against him. He had video evidence of people tearing up his signs and taking their signs and writing things on. He didn't go public with it because he's a good man. He's a damn good man.
Yeah.
But he's like, this stuff's happening. And he joked about, he's like, well, if we, these video cameras, people are just clueless.
Yeah.
Don't do stupid shit. Don't do mean shit in general. Just don't do as much as we want. Don't do it. And then if you are going to do it, just know before you do it that there's probably a video camera somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. Video cameras are everywhere.
If people are not mind their business, don't go do something. Especially, if you provoke yourself, check yourself, please. There you see, this guy's going to be caught at some point in time. They will find him. The reward money. Tim Pool pledged a $5,000 reward for information on the guy seen very clearly in the video doing this.
Yes, very clearly.
And then Benny Johnson also from Twitter has a massive following, good stuff, $5,000, making the total reward now $11,000. So this happened on August 12th, and they're still, as last I saw, they were still looking for this guy. It happened in North Carolina, and how they have not found this guy yet. I'm shocked.
I bet somebody has found him and they're just not doing anything about it, because who knows? It might be somebody that's in charge that's a Democrat and they think it's great. And they're like, okay, don't do that again. We're just going to act like we didn't know that you did it. Just don't do it again, because you can rest assured if that's a Republican that we'd already know and they would be hung up by their neck.
Yeah. Well, the guy who it happened to, his attorney said that they're going to sue the arsonist once he's identified. They're going to sue the guy. And they said, regardless of Wake County, happened in Wake County, North Carolina, regardless of what the district attorney in Wake County does with the video, they said accountability is coming. And Kane, hey, he's allowed to be a conservative activist in North Carolina, just like you're allowed to be a Democratic activist in the state of North Carolina. You just can't break the law. That's private property. You don't go onto somebody else's yard and do what he did.
Right.
It's also interesting. I have a feeling that people knew him because Kane also recently ran for chairman of the state's GOP party. He was defeated by an incumbent, but he still backs his party. And of course, they go on there. You're gonna freaking get caught. It will happen. Yeah. Don't do stupid shit. Oh my God.
Just don't do stupid shit. There is. When you think about it, there's cameras everywhere. Even if you go stay in an Airbnb or wherever, there's cameras everywhere. Don't do stupid shit.
Is that dude? And you go back to where he was doing the bad stuff again? I'm just curious. I was trying to see that guy's face again. I still can't believe that people have not found him. Or maybe they're negotiating behind the scenes. I don't know. But you would figure that they would find that guy doing that stuff.
Right. With his little helmet.
But we haven't. This isn't the first time we've seen this happen.
No, this happens a lot.
People do stupid stuff like that guy. On a bike?
On a bike.
And he just rides up in his yard. Nobody
sees that.
And then that wasn't enough.
He comes back.
Damn, dude.
He's just an evil little twerp.
How obvious is it that the camera is so close? How did he not see it? Like, he could have reached up and just grabbed
because you're trying to move fast and you're evil. And
I guess, yeah. I guess you're so angry. I think these people are so angry. Why? I'm not exactly sure, other than maybe he sent a tweet that pissed him off. I don't know. But Democrats are so angry.
Well, I'm grateful. I love Benny Johnson and what he does with Twitter. And he's awesome with his podcast to donate $5,000 to find whoever did that, to make them known. And they will be known at some point in time to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen again. Oh, yeah. Chris says there's a shot of a tattoo on his forearm. I almost guarantee they know who it is. Yeah,
Correct.
of course.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked if they didn't know who that was by now.
Yeah.
That was August 12th.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 9 days ago, almost 10 days ago.
Yeah. You know what I saw? Donna was saying they are possessed. And this weekend, I literally watched a movie about like a demon possession. And it was...
Why are you watching that stuff?
Because I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't even my idea. It was my husband's idea. And it was called The Pope's Exorcism or whatever. But it was so true that the main priest there, and I'm going on what Donna said, is that people do not believe that there's true evil and that Satan prowls the world.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't understand that. And that's what I got out of this movie, because it was kind of hokey. It really was. It was based on a true story, but I don't know. But the whole thing I got out of it was a good reminder that evil prowls this earth, and there are possessions, and Satan doesn't make you do
that guy
anything.
Was possessed.
Well, I don't know if he was possessed.
He looked like he was throwing a tantrum.
That's what I think. He was just an entitled little brat that Donald Trump made him go to work. And so he's afraid Donald Trump is going to come back and he's going to have to get out of his basement and actually get a job. That's what that was. That wasn't demon possession. That was a little brat.
Okay. Mary says, I'd be watching who's riding a bike through the neighborhood during the day now. That dude's biking career is over for sure.
Yes.
Unless until they find him and whatever else can happen.
I know where they're going to find him.
I'd be sitting on my front porch with a paintball gun.
Yes.
Yeah, for our listeners of the podcast, we showed video of a guy in a bike and spandex.
Yeah.
Coming up on a hill on somebody else's property, kicking the Trump sign that says Trump won, and then coming back in the cover of darkness and like setting it on fire.
Yeah.
So I just want to paint that picture for our listeners as well. There's a big American flag next to the Trump won sign. That I love those signs.
Yeah.
I've never seen one out though.
Oh,
have you guys seen one of those?
Yeah. My neighborhood had a whole bunch of them out. We all have big signs still up that say, let's go Brandon and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. I've seen a lot of Trump signs. It depends on where you live, where it's acceptable. In my neighborhood, there's some liberals, but as the most part, even the liberals are so overrun by us conservatives that we have America's flags flying.
Yeah. Well, now you know how the conservatives in Webster Groves feel.
that exactly looks like a liberal.
And Kirkwood.
Yeah.
And St. Louis County.
Yes.
Because I still tell everybody St. Louis County is hardcore conservative or hardcore liberal.
Yeah.
And my conservative friends get upset at me. And I'm like,
but it's true.
Sorry.
It's true.
Liberals own the town, baby.
They do.
They own the county in St. Louis. And they have proven it. So
I guess I can't move in next door to somebody like that with my Trump one without expecting to get my sign kicked.
I don't know. It depends on whatever they would try to go. It depends on how Karen, the homeowners association leader is.
Yeah. Well, I triggered my next
and how liberal. I'm sure that's what it is. You just always need to have the Ring camera
Yes.
ready
yes.
to go, or set up a private camera to
Yeah.
make sure that stuff doesn't happen. But like I said, I knew it happened in Chesterfield where they had, and it wasn't necessarily Republicans versus Democrats. This was, the evidence was a Republican against a Republican. It was just they didn't agree on what was up on the ballot to be voted on.
Right.
But there was evidence of tampering with the sign to try to make it their own, and you can't deface a sign. You just can't. It's illegal. Don't do it. Pam says if the homeowner saw that, could they defend their property? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think even when you take a gun class, like if you even kill them in your front yard, they tell you to pull them back into your house because you can't just shoot somebody in your front lawn.
That's true. I've seen that.
So I'm thinking, if you do that, you better hope that you shut that camera off at that point and pull them back into your house.
DRC says, how long would a sign like that last that says Trump won at an intersection?
Oh, probably at any intersection, not long at all, no matter where it is. Even the most red place, you'll have one little entitled helmet-wearing creep that will be triggered and will go up and just go, he did not win. He hurt my feelings and he's making me go back to work. And he kicks the sign. It doesn't matter where that is. That will not last long.
Man, it isn't. Mm-mm. Spray something on them, dye or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how they would.
Yeah. Even in the most
conservative. Well, the best booby trap signs.
Yes, those are great.
Are the electrical ones.
I love those.
Where they try to. We've shown them on this show before.
It is so funny.
Where people are like, ow.
Yeah.
They're like, ow.
Uh-huh.
And then they realize, the best part is seeing them on video.
Yeah.
It is also interesting. You don't see conservatives going and ripping out liberal signs.
You don't hear
and
that.
You don't
hardly
see
ever.
Biden. Well, okay, wait a minute. He's not even campaigning. I was going to say there are no Biden signs. You just don't see them.
You don't.
There's not. There's no Biden signs because he isn't. He isn't running for office, unfortunately. No. One thing. Okay. Let's tie up the Trump stuff before we get into this. I just had to say this really quick, and I didn't send the graphics to, and maybe I will, Joe. Maybe I'll send it to you. But the whole deal regarding this January 6th debacle with the indictments, more's coming out now.
Yep.
And it's important to note, and this is why I don't even know how they get this to trial, considering that the DA's office released all the charges before it even went to the grand jury, before they even approved it. Just remember that the exact charges were released on the website before it was ever taken to a grand jury. That's a massive issue, and Trump's attorney has already said that. Let me tell you this. Okay, first of all, could you give me her name again when you get it? Could you look that up for me, Lizzie? The judge's name with the Trump January 6th Atlanta case.
You talking about Fannie Willis?
Oh, yeah, Fannie.
Well, she's the prosecutor.
Oh, she's the prosecutor. I'm talking about the judge.
Okay.
If they have the judge's name, and there's a reason for this. This is shocking, absolutely shocking when it comes to what's happening with this judge. And you're supposed to have unbiased judges, right?
Right.
These judges are supposed to be fair, right down the middle, have no problems, have no issues of leaning to one side or the other, especially when it comes to a case like Donald Trump, who is being persecuted by Joe Biden, his DOJ, and Jack Smith and everything else that they've put together across the country. Well, how would you like to be Donald Trump and have this judge and think that things would go fair if you ever went to trial? Number one, conflict one. She spent 12 years at the law firm where Hunter Biden was employed. Gee, is this not a coincidence? 12 years at the same law firm. But of course, Hunter Biden was employed everywhere, right? He was getting checks from what a great gig. Hey, if you don't give me a job, my dad's going to have some problems for you. Hey, do you know who my dad is? My daddy, the big guy? Yeah, we're going to have issues. So the judge spent 12 years at the same firm that Hunter was employed at. Conflict number two. She donated $1,500 to the Obama campaign in both 2008 and 2009. Yet Donald Trump, if he goes to trial, is supposed to expect to be treated fairly by this same judge.
It is Tanya Chutkin.
Tanya Chutkin.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a Scott McAfee that's also maybe residing.
Okay.
So both of them.
Massive issues with those two. Those two issues. And conflict number 3, she lives in D.C. and she worked at the Hunter Biden law firm. Come on. These are massive issues when it comes to this whole case. Once again, which is why I think it's all a farce. It's all just being thrown. It's a game. What can we throw at the American people? What can we throw at Donald Trump? What can we do to try to make this a bad situation so that nobody wants to vote for Donald Trump? And all it does now is promote him.
Correct.
Those are crazy issues that are going on. By the way, this is cancelthisshow.com. We appreciate everybody watching. And special shouts out to our show sponsor, Complete Auto Body Repair, Curtis Sparks and crew, 7 climate-controlled facilities throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Literally everything from A to Z with your car. Lizzie takes like all 6 of her cars there. Several of our viewers and listeners in the St. Louis metropolitan area head out to one of their facilities. They're also looking for employees. Lots of employees when it comes to techs. Also, when it comes to salespeople, they've got lots of jobs open because they hire so many people, not only in the car industry, but the towing industry as well. Strategic Air Services, where we broadcast live out of, your number one private flying destination spot. If you have any questions, contact Strategic Air Services. They will make sure that you understand how you can fly somewhere and with how many people to make it worth your while, to make the experience worthwhile, and to make it as cost effective as possible as well. Experience Realty partners, Kathy Helbig-Strick, Steve Strict with Score Mortgage, and of course their business, New Age Wellness, which we promote on Wednesdays. You're not going to find a better realtor throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. And by the way, if you're in a different state, you can still give Kathy and her team a call, 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-SOLD, because they have contacts and teams all across America. Vehicle Protection Group is still looking for a couple employees. Once again, Vehicle Protection Group. All you have to do is email Todd at VPC Network. That's V as in Victor, PC, Todd at VPCnetwork.com, just for some information. Literally, you're taking inbound calls. Their top people are making 6 figures a year right now, helping people get warranties on their vehicles. You literally go in, you do shifts. You can pick the hours you work. They'll take care of you. Just give Todd at VPCnetwork.com, Todd at VPC Network, an email, and they'll help you out from there. Green Light Dispensary, our Weed Wednesday segment, Tom Bomarito and crew, they continue to grow. The largest cannabis company in the state of Missouri with the most locations, which also gives you the best products that you're going to find at the best prices. Also, new study came out. I just saw it yesterday. Medical marijuana is now proving to give people a more relaxed and better life expectancy, healthier too. I'm like, what? So we'll get into those studies on Wednesday, which are coming up. Rockwood Charcoal, the best pure charcoal you're going to find. It breaks apart in your hand. Made in the great state of Missouri, where the best charcoal in the country is made. Rockwood Charcoal, you can find it in locations all across the St. Louis area, including all across the country. And Carroll House Furniture, you like nice things. If you go in and get something from Carroll House, make sure to tell them that you heard about them and you appreciate them jumping in and supporting cancelthisshow.com. All right, I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house as well, as we continue on a Monday podcast, August 21st edition. Guys, I don't know what's happening. I know Billy Bush said that he would try to buy back Anheuser-Busch. Mm-hmm. But over the weekend, did you guys see this? Was it real? At first, I thought it was fake. We're going to show you the picture of Kid Rock. Now, Kid Rock allegedly has some sort of contract with Miller, or he had a contract with Miller, making a whole lot of money. I mean, a whole lot of money. But look at this picture with Kid Rock in a Bud Light can.
That's funny.
When I first saw it, and I was like, okay, TMZ giving them credit for having the picture. I was like, is that photoshopped? I was like, no, TMZ wouldn't do that.
They usually don't. They don't always have they always have the first story, and most of the time it's pretty correct. I mean, it does have a liberal slant, but they're correct. I saw that late last night, and I can't tell that it's photoshopped. But
no, it's not photoshopped. I first thought that it was.
So I wonder what that is. I wonder if he's the new purchaser.
No, maybe he's just like
sponsoring.
I don't know.
now?
Screw all y'all. I'm gonna drink my Bud Light. Maybe he couldn't stand. Was it?
Maybe he really likes it and was done with the shooting of it.
I don't know. Do people care?
Yeah, I think some people care. I don't care. I mean, I like Kid Rock, but I didn't care that he shot the beer, and I don't care that he's drinking the beer. I do think it's probably great that people put their money where their mouth is.
Well, he signed a $40 million deal with Miller.
So what's up with that then?
And he told Bud Light, this was his quote, to fuck off. I mean, that was the quote.
Yeah. So why is he holding it now?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Kid Rock.
Lizzie,
Kid
I don't
Rock.
know. That's why I was bringing it to the people.
Yeah. Do any of you people know why he's holding it?
One of my liberal friends from DC texted me with such joy. Oh, there's Kid Rock with his Bud Light now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Wearing, I don't know, are those leather shorts? What the hell is he wearing?
I don't know.
Cut off jeans?
I don't know. A lot of people, though, like Jeannie's saying, there's a lot of people that they're a conservative, but they still drink Bud Light. And I get it both ways. I mean, I do. I get that they're drinking it because they like it. Damn it, they like to drink Bud Light. Or they don't want to hurt the employees and all of that. But then I get where other people, they're not buying it because they have to make a statement to the people that are going after our kids. And I think people thought they were going after our kids. And that's where it stops me, too. I'm fine with, sometimes I have to go to a place that I don't agree with their stance. But once you start coming after my babies.
I just want to know about this $40 million deal he had with Miller, because they're probably like, hey, whoa.
Right?
But is he,
maybe
what do you think, Joe? What do you think, buddy?
I don't know, man. Bud Light doesn't taste that damn good.
No, it doesn't.
Right. Oh, what in the heck?
So it made me feel as if he was doing that on purpose. He knows he would never be caught dead, even if he secretly loved it. And yeah,
right.
I'm worried about my own people coming after. There's no way in hell. He knows that people are taking pictures. He knows if he's outside of literally his house, he's going to be photographed.
I'd be willing to bet he got paid to hold that can.
I would think so too, because why else would he have it after he made such a big deal?
At this point, he had to have gotten money for that.
Yeah.
It's fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk about.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing, kid?
Right.
Kid Rock, what's going on?
And are we for sure it's a Bud Light can?
Yes,
we for sure?
Yes, it's a Bud Light can, Lizzie. It's a Bud Light can. I don't know what the hell he was doing, especially when he had that massive contract. But whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that just shows that people will do anything for a buck. I mean, he was going to shoot it, and he told them to F off, and then now he's got it because somebody will pay him, so whatever, I guess.
Oh,
I don't know.
Hey, Joe, can we show our Cancel This Patriots page while we're here now? It's something that we've been trying to do and do more of. And if you're not on there right now, don't get upset. We're doing our best to give shout outs to all the people who follow us so passionately, who buy the products for our advertisers, who watch us, listen to us, share it. By the way, you can like, subscribe, and share the show. You can send us, what can they send us on Facebook?
They can send us stars.
Stars.
Yes, stars.
We have that open, I guess.
Yes, I believe so.
I was like, I guess we do.
Yeah.
You can do it. Pam says, kid was just being a stinker.
And that could be it too.
That was funny. Pam made me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's missing the Mulvaney can, took a dare as to why he was doing this. Anyway, that cancel page, can I get that back up? I'm sorry, Joe. My bad. We try to recognize all of you, and we're grateful when you do this as well and jump in. So shout out, and we try to get as many people on there as possible. This is coming from the marketing department. Joe Patterson, Linda Ward, Karen Wynn, or I think that's Najurin. I'm sorry. I can't understand that font. Diane Richardson, Terry Orton, Kathy Smith, Renee Harris, Jessica Margot Dalton, John Holke, and Karen LaJoy. Thank you for all of your support. We appreciate that. Jay, stop it, Jay. Don't get on me. Stop putting celebrities on pedestals and problem solved. I agree. But that's not going to stop.
Yeah. And he's right. We do put stars on pedestals. And of course, we like the stars then that agree with us. But stars do, unfortunately or fortunately, drive a narrative in most stories. I mean, they just do. I wish they didn't, but they do.
They do. And that's why advertisers go to people who are recognizable. That's why they go to influencers. That's why they go to people like our good friend who comes in every other Friday, Kelly Mano. She literally turns down tons of stuff because she doesn't have time.
Yeah,
Joe has a podcast coming up and he's like, oh, I'm going to mention her. I was like, Joe, dude, I promise you, man, she's too damn busy.
She is busy.
But they do. Yeah, Jeannie says publicity stunt. That's what I'm starting to feel more like, because there's no way in hell that man is standing out there with a can of Bud Light, not after shooting it up with machine guns and everything else like he did. That's a problem for him to do that. No way in hell that's happening. Okay, there's a lot of crazy things that are going on in the world all the time.
Yeah, there is.
I'm starting to learn about something, and Joe was teaching me this morning about this. Are you familiar with microgreens?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
I'm
I
not
know.
either.
No,
my
not
mind
really.
is opening up. As I said, we're going to do a water segment as well, because I've learned a ton about water, and I hate most of our water that we drink is acid, even in the water.
Yeah, it's bad.
And by the time that we get the water bottles, that water's been in the bottle for about 4 to 5 months.
Yes, and sitting in the heat and all that.
But this microgreen stuff and how people are. Joe knew all about it, and I was like, really? I had no freaking idea this stuff is going on. Can we show that video, Joe? I know that you were getting. I had no idea about microgreens. I had no idea about people being Sado land, or however you want to say it, because they're trying to teach people how to eat food. And like Adrian already knew, easy to grow. Okay, check out this video of what's going on and why, because I want to learn more about this.
Apparently, I'm shadow banned again, even though I have 187,000 followers that hang off of every one of my words because I tell them the truth, and that's why I'm being punished by this algorithm. The truths that I'm telling people have to do with what you're looking at right now, which is a way to escape the chemical poisoning through Monsanto's pesticide and herbicide. And every single time I name drop, I have to wait about a month until I can get more than 200 or 300 views for reels, when I'm used to netting at least 10 to 20,000 minimum per.
I'm sorry, what?
Was the video on?
What do you mean? It's running right now.
Yeah, we can't see it.
Oh, you can't?
No, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, my bad. Okay, I got to take it off this screen.
You can see it, but no. But okay, there we go. Now we can see it.
Well, I guess you guys heard up until this point.
Yeah, can you play?
Yeah, just started from here.
View. So that is what I'm dealing with right now. And last time I called on the people, I said, please comment "We the People" on this video and all over my content. And wouldn't you know it, I had tens of thousands of people commenting all over, but I was only receiving a few follows, and I was only receiving, a few thousand views. So all that goes to say this, ladies and gentlemen, we officially now live in a world where you cannot speak about the things that are in legislature, you cannot speak about the things that are in .gov and .org documents, and you just have to go along with your life as an indoctrinated consumer and just keep poisoning yourself and your family with the foods that you eat, and not ask questions and be good little slaves. So if you're with that, go ahead and just come off of the video. But if you want to change that, be the change you want to see, growingfruition.com.
Okay, Joe, explain to me what microgreens are and what's going on. Clearly, they must be amazing if this guy's getting banned for producing videos to try to help people, because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's doing anything evil.
So microgreens are part of the germination process, and when you actually consume the plant at that stage, it's super nutritious, and it's actually more healthy for you than actually the full-grown plant. And it's easy to grow indoor. You don't have to worry about pesticides or anything like that. And that he's not the only influencer who does this, who's being ADO banned or whatever you want to call it.
Well, and I know a lot of runners that are starting to take microgreens. I don't know much about them, but I have friends' kids and things that are like, I'm not sure if they're supposed to have these, but microgreens is really good for
Are they? Somebody says sprouts. They look like teeny little sprouts.
That's sprout is a microgreen, and you can live off of these things.
Right. And apparently really good.
But they
for
don't
athletes.
have protein in them, right?
Yeah, they've got it. Well, I'm not sure exactly what the nutritional value is. I do know that you can live off of these things.
Well, and Lisa's saying My Patriot Supply, who's that company that, mainly preppers use it, and it's a really good company. And she says they sell the seeds. So, and they're wanting, Jeannie wants to know specifically what kind of sprouts.
That you'd have to go follow this guy and definitely give
if
him
you can
props.
find him.
Yeah,
if you can find him.
If he's not banned already.
But that tells you so much.
187,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. I mean, I'm like, okay. Donna says that was big in the 70s.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised. And then, of course, big industry gets a hold of things and tries to stamp out with marketing and everything else.
Yeah. Well, people are saying that you can find these things at your local Fresh Thyme. And I think Fresh Thyme is a market that you can find all over.
Are they produced? I mean, is it a produced thing?
I think it's the seeds that you can get there.
Okay. It caught my attention when this guy started getting fanned.
Fanned.
Yes.
Nothing worse than being fanned. Ugh.
Yeah.
And that tells you.
Bano-fanned. When he started getting Bano-fanned.
Yes.
I was like, what the hell? Okay. Jessica says I could have eaten that whole rack in a week.
Wow. Yeah. People are saying, yes, Fresh Thyme is where you can get it.
So I mean, it just, I guess it's what vitamins, minerals, nutrients. I guess that would.
And it's basically better than a solid.
Okay. Seeds. Let's see. Seeds are really healthy. Coming from Donna. I like how they say if you don't care about your health, just scroll on by. Yeah, I saw that as well. I heard that.
Yeah.
Fresh Thyme. Yeah. Saying, okay, Joe, you knew about this and you've seen other people get the short end of the stick when they try to do this as well, right?
Yep. Yeah. It's very common right now that people out there who are advocating this are definitely getting strict consequences.
And I wonder, I wonder why, other than we're not going to eat their processed foods. Is that what this big corporations?
They want us eating the lab grown meat.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, and
Then
that's
there's no
so
doubt about
coming
that.
up.
But people have to realize. I know that we want to think that our agencies and our 3-letter agencies
they're
care
all
about.
bad.
Well,
They're
I
all
mean,
bad.
they may all be bad, but I do think they do some good. They do. The problem is it's all about money most of the time. And if people can't make money off of you, then they're not going to promote you. Helen says used a lot in Japanese food. And it's interesting that you say that, Helen, because my friend who has Japanese ties just texted me and said, I grow broccoli sprouts, highly nutritional. And I know nothing about
best.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you make the taste or just what it has?
The nutritional value. Plus, I'm sure the taste is great. I love broccoli. So.
Okay.
I like broccoli too.
Did we tape that? Oh, the taste is so great. I love broccoli.
Taste is so
straight
good.
broccoli.
I do. I eat raw broccoli.
That's
broccoli.
Damn. I'm envious of you.
Oh man, I eat raw bell peppers too.
Okay.
When you think about it, we're acting like this is like, oh my gosh, this is revelation. And it is kind of, because our parents back in the day, this is what they ate. And then all the processed food comes in. And then I know I fed my kids a lot of processed food because I was busy working full time and I would just pop in macaroni and cheese. I still do it. But if you just go back to things that actually God gave us without all the processing, it's wonders what our body really actually does well with.
So Joe, you eat mini or microgreens.
Not so much because they're not very common. You can't. I mean, like you can find them at Fresh Thyme. However, I don't shop at Fresh Thyme, so
right.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't grow them myself. I do know I've done because of this. I've done a lot of research behind it, and I'm actually going to start growing my own.
Well, and like Sally says here, and it's so true, there is a difference in what we put in American food in comparison to food in other countries, and that's true. We put a lot of bad things in our food. We absolutely do.
100%.
So microgreens, and this guy's getting banned because he's talking about microgreens.
He's trying to teach people how to do it themselves.
Instead of getting them somewhere. And
yeah.
I'm trying to get to the bottom. So you think 100% government has an issue and they're all over this trying to make us unhealthy?
I think it's more of a health thing than it is a money thing.
Yeah.
They don't want people, because these things are superfoods. They can actually like keep you from getting diseases and stuff. They want you getting the Pfizer drugs.
Correct.
Or
boils
in
down to
hospitals,
that.
I guess.
Yes, yes. Boils down there again. It boils down to money.
I'm in hospitals a lot. I'm in ours a lot in another job, and they're packed.
Mm-hmm.
They're packed. They're packed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even find parking to get in places because they're packed.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money to operate those directional lasers from the sky, you know.
Oh my God. We'll get into, I'm learning more about what are they, DWEs or directional weapon, directional energy weapons, or, oh my God, we're on the heels of the Friday show with our conspiracy theory. Damn. What are they called again? All of you people, you viewers and listeners, you send them. I had like 5 or 6 messages, and it was funny because it was like Vic, Maui, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's the guy's name, by the way, who he refused to sound the alarms in Hawaii. And he said it's because everybody would run for the hills where the fire was. No water was working. He refused to, and he quit. And he's like, I don't regret not sounding the alarm. People's lives would have been saved. There's absolutely no doubt. Oh, Kimberly said DEWs, directed energy weapons. And I started to learn about those last week when we did so much coverage of the Maui fires, saying these do exist. There's 100% truth. They do exist. They're verified. They exist. People said there's no doubt with the video that we showed and everybody else showed that that's what was used somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can have houses in the middle of a fire and then it just stops and goes around and then continues on, and it does it more than once.
Correct. And we've said that from the beginning. We didn't know exactly what the name of it. Well, we kind of did, but we didn't want to report something wrong, that it is precision that is actually what hit the things they wanted to hit for sure. And it boils down to, they do not want these people to rebuild. They want to put in hotels. They want to make money off of it. And Vic, you said it right away that they want to turn it into smart cities. They don't want the average Joe there. They want their land. They want it, and they'll do whatever they can to get it. And there's no coincidence. No one can convince me of it that at least they had knowledge of it. Barack Obama and Oprah. I believe they're in on it, but that's just an opinion. That's not a fact I can find. But you can find that they had awareness of it and that they were there not too long ago. So it's wherever Barack Obama shows up, even when he showed up in Wuhan, shit that's bad is going to happen next. Is it his idea? I don't know. I don't even think Barack Obama is that powerful. I think somebody above him sends him like the little minion to go do their deeds to get what they want.
The viewers from this podcast are terrific, the live aspect of it. And if you're listening or watching when you're not here, that's fine as well. But shout out, Adrian says, go figure. It was in a Simpsons episode.
Yeah, go
figure. Directed energy weapons. It was in that. Also, from the chat line, let's see here. What did I just have? They had DEWs in the 1980s. Did I also hear another part of Canada is burning up as well? I saw that report too. I did see that. And Annette says, yes, there's video proof now. Mainstream media is shutting down the Maui residents that have seen the DEW. I saw Maui residents saying that there were lasers from the sky, that something happened. And I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. And they're literally on camera saying the stuff. It's very difficult to get that out. How roads were blocked. No water was ready to go to save any of the homes. And no sirens or alarm. Imagine a fire of that magnitude in the St. Louis County area and no fire alarms, no sirens, no warning. It was all just fending for your life. And, oh, by the way, there's not going to be any fire trucks with any water.
Correct. We would be screaming to the mountaintops that we don't have here. But there, you have to really kind of go in deep to find anyone saying anything about it. You see an occasional person. Why? Is it because they're all dead, or is it because all their communication's knocked out? It's crazy. And some people in the chat line are saying, where are all the kids? What did they do with all the kids there? Are they alive? Are they dead? Where did they put them? Those are
Jeannie says,
questions.
my kids are saying that. They showed me pics. I'm assuming you're talking about the new fires in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I started to hear more and more about the directed energy weapons last week, because from the very first day, I said, guys, something's not adding up. From the very first day, I was like, this does not happen at that place at this large of a scale.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I can't wait to hear. And they really haven't given us, it's global warming, climate change. Yeah, whatever. Knew something was up. Now we're starting to see, then when you see the video, of course, it's not, look at fire video,
mm-hmm.
like actual fire video from other places, and then compare it to Maui. It's completely different.
Yeah.
It's something. It's almost it's a situation of being incinerated. Yeah, Donna says, what about the book about the Maui Fowers that we talked about?
Yeah.
No, that's true. Hitanamo is a piece of shit, according to Jessica. He's the guy that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't regret not sounding the alarm. Yeah, well, people died. Over 100 people died.
I hope he can sleep at
And
night.
he was trying to say, well, more people would have died if they would have went to the hills, which is 100% stupid. Anthony says Hawaii is horribly corrupt right now.
Yes.
And maybe it is.
I hear the death toll is way higher than what's being reported. I've
hearing
watched
that
some
too.
videos of some people who are like actually on paddle boards getting supplies to the island that are talking about how the death toll is way higher and that they're just not reporting it.
Correct.
You know what? If the death toll was high and they didn't have family, then I guess government could take over that property with no issues.
You got it. Bingo. That's exactly right. And you know what they're saying? I saw in the New York Times that they're actually calling out themselves. They're saying that this is like, green energy that's happening or climate change. But you know what? They're using the word climate change in Hawaii. And I don't know about the hurricanes. It's engineered weather patterns. So a lot of people believe that this was engineered. All these things are engineered. And that's what they're calling climate change. They're actually telling us what they're doing. They do that, in elections. They're doing that with all of this. If you listen to their words, it's all words. Think of the words that they're using and think about what they're really meaning. They're always telling you what they're doing. And why are they being smug? Because they know we can't do anything about it? Or are they that stupid? I mean, it's interesting to me that they're telling us what they're doing. They just change the words up. It's creepy and it's awful.
Annette says, I saw a video of those DEW striking. Not quite sure exactly what you mean, but Lisa also said, this is something we talked about in the show. The governor of Hawaii, Governor Green, said that he was looking for a way for the state to acquire the land. That was a direct quote. I saw that quote as well.
Mm-hmm.
That should make you very, very concerned. Aaron
Yes.
says it's hard to clear it out. To rebuild the new 15-minute city.
Yeah.
Maui, though, will be the first one. But I agree with you, Aaron. I really do. I think
do
that
too.
that's where it's headed, especially with how we told you that they had the smart city meetings already there and scheduled for there. And if it was on a Simpsons episode with DEWs, the chances of it happening
Mm-hmm.
are pretty damn real, and it's actually going on. Hey, another update. Want to give you tomorrow, by the way, is a massive BRICS meeting.
Yeah.
This is one that's been scheduled for quite some time. Of course, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. You've got 41 other countries now interested in the world trying to join BRICS with a new currency backed by gold to go attack the dollar. We've talked about it a lot on the show. We'll continue to talk about it because it's something you need to have your eyes on, because eventually we are going to become a digital currency in the United States. I think banks are going to have crypto. That's going to come at some point in time. It's a fascinating time when it comes to the financial industry, and a scary time when you consider that BRICS, with 41 nations now trying to join, with their GDP being higher than the United States put together, and what they could do from a financial standpoint that would impact our dollar instantaneously. But they're going to do this. And tomorrow is a massive meeting. Interesting word is that Putin is just going to be on call. He's not going to be there. And we haven't seen a lot of him publicly. I know with the Ukraine situation going on, not trying to be conspiracy theory or speculate crazy, but we just haven't seen much of Vladimir Putin in recent times. Don't know what's going on with him. But this meeting has been talked about for quite some time. It's happening tomorrow in Johannesburg in South Africa. as they get ready to introduce their new currency backed by gold. And maybe we'll know more what happens tomorrow in regards to how it could affect the dollar or if any other announcements are made. But keep your head in a swivel when it comes to finances, when it comes to the commodities and the currencies, because BRICS is not going anywhere. It's not. And the more you can start studying about BRICS, the better. Start studying about the dollar. It's going to help you all. It'll help all of us. Robert says, I do not think crypto or blockchain mathematically can handle trillions of data in the time frame required. That's a good point. I still think it could be possible, Robert. I do. I think they could find a way somehow, some way, because the trillions of blockchain would expand massively. And a lot of times people don't know much about BRICS, and we've talked about it here. And what we don't know, we may not be that interested in, but you're interested in money. That's for sure. Pam says facial recognition to shop already started in China.
Yes.
And it's coming our way. Facial recognition?
Yes, facial recognition.
Are you kidding me?
They've had it for some time, actually. It's been going on there for a couple years.
What?
Facial recognition and, of course, the hand recognition.
I think that they tried to implement facial recognition back in the 90s, and there was laws passed where they couldn't.
Correct. So
can we show that video in the store? You have that video. I think I sent it to the grocery store. I thought I might have sent it to you.
Yeah.
If you can find it. We did. I don't think we showed it last week.
We didn't. We talked about it briefly. We sent it to him earlier in the week, and then we didn't talk about it. But it's interesting. There's people are giddy about it. They don't understand that they're actually getting marked and tracked. But I understand the ease of it. But this lady, she goes to the store and she's chipped, and she's all excited that she can go in and buy her groceries and she can pay from her hand.
Les says retina scanning for crypto in Kenya.
Yes.
Would not be surprised. Kenya is all about BRICS as well. Russia and Putin are now eliminating debt from these Russian countries. And you don't give up debt unless massive deals are being made in Africa right now. Multiple countries eliminating debt, giving food and resources to these countries in Africa. And they're all joining alliances right now. The world is getting smaller. It's getting in on the United States. And all kinds of things continue to happen. Oh, and as Aaron reminds us, Obama's homeland on top of it. We talk about some of the retina scanning. Here's this woman shopping.
Whole Foods, and I'm about to pay for my groceries with my...
Oh, it's so amazing.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Yes.
Coolest thing ever.
They think it's so cool. You know, they've had this years ago in Monsanto. My dad worked for Monsanto back in the day, and he started right before he died suddenly. Him, and I'm not saying Monsanto killed him, but my dad became one of the vice presidents. And he one day took me to the very top floor, and he wasn't supposed to, in the very important floor where all their top and things were. He used his hand to get in, and that was in the 80s. He just put his hand up and he put it on.
Wasn't that because of a print? That not because he didn't have a device implanted.
No, he didn't have a device implant. But what was interesting about that, at that point, he turned around and said to me, I only have 5 more years till I'm vested, and then I'm getting out of here. They're going to be doing things with your body. And he talked about being able to put a chip in and all that kind of stuff. And he was telling me that in the 80s. So that's interesting how far we've come. He died in 89, but I think he would not be surprised at a lot of the stuff that has come on, because he was warning of me of that in the 80s. It's just so bizarre. And he did not think it was funny, but he thought a lot of his coworkers thought that was just a screen, that they were going to chip you and all that. They thought it was going to be great, just like that lady. I'm not sure that that's a good idea. It's easy, I guess, if you want to go in.
Horrible idea.
And you just want to put your hand up. But
I would rather reach into my wallet,
grab
my card.
Me too. Or your cash. Better yet, your cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, cash is king. And
I'm not so sure Gen Z, I know some Gen Zers would be all that excited to put a chip in their hand.
No, I'm glad.
Maybe millennials.
Yeah.
But I can't see that. Hey, we're going to put a chip in your hand.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then take a chip in and out and do that all the time?
Yeah, that's gross. Yeah, and you got to, just think about that. If you change your credit card number, what do you got to do? Take that chip out, put the chip back in? That's crazy nonsense.
And as Les says, until they find out you're conservative or voted a certain way or bought a certain thing, then your finances get canceled.
Correct.
And of course, people have talked about it being the mark of the beast, as we hear from Revelation. And of course, people crossing the border, as Troy says, and they don't need any idea. And Aaron, yes, I've heard this as well in the past. The cupcake was just practice for other things that are coming. And what if hospitals start to do it at birth?
Yeah, good question. Good question, Bindi. What if they did start doing it at birth? How can we stop them? Well, I guess you can not have your kids in the hospital then, like the midwife thing.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that continues to happen. Tons of subjects. And of course, if you had the wheel of death, as I call it in this country, with everything that's going on, from inflation to prices to the border to violence to everything else that this current administration, and not just the administration, but people who the administration answers to on a global scale, what could be happening. Lots of problems. We could do something every day. You could. We try to have some fun at the same point in time, but we also want to educate, because life isn't just about being happy all the time or being comfortable. There's a lot more to life. It's easy to forget that, as good as things have been for our country and as good as they've been for a long time. But just remember, as Lizzie started the show with, if you believe in good, if you believe in God, then you have to believe in the devil, and you have to believe in bad. And there is a lot of that stuff going on.
Yes.
And it's just how it goes to show. Lizzie, you got anything you want to add today, or
no?
anything
I think
going
that's
on?
a good way to end the show. Is just remember.
Joe, do you have anything?
No, I'm good. I think we touched everything.
I think we did. Just remember, go about and keep your head on a swivel and do good, but don't let evil get to you.
And I'll do some of the breakdown with the sound tomorrow. Probably it'll be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of breaking down Dr. David Martin talking to the British Parliament about what's happened when it comes to the vid and how it's been in trial settings in labs, been approved for, and been around since the 60s. Blew my mind, especially with what's happening. Guys, we appreciate you. You can always like, subscribe, share the show. Fastest 2 hours in podcasting. It goes fast, and we're grateful for all of your support. Continue to let people know about what we do, and if you know of any other advertisers or business that want to get behind us, we could certainly use that as well, so we can continue to do what we do, but grow. Not just stay stagnant, but grow. And we're grateful for you guys. Have an awesome day. That does it for this CancelThisShow.com podcast on August 21st. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.